their ability to get this many people to strike at the same time is interesting. So this is according to trade unions, but the government put the figure at half, which is that 75% of teachers, of primary teachers from all across the country, and 62% of secondary teachers went on strike on Thursday. I mean, the figures really, that's kind of what caught my attention. Now, the government is saying that no, it was half of that, but yeah, half of schools closed over these strikes. So I mean,
What's it for?
so yeah, I'll tell you what it's about. It's over the government's COVID-19, like changing the COVID-19 like measures and regulations when it comes to school on a like nonstop. So apparently they change them like 3 times. So it's not necessary that there are people who are like anti this measure, anti that measure. They're just saying that the government, because the French government is also very like proud, and Macron is, that they're like the second country apparently to have closed their schools the least during the pandemic. But the teachers are saying, but now that you're just switching the rules all the time nonstop, apparently you had to get tests, like yeah, your kids tested if there was just one case. So everybody had to get tested. So people were spending, like, sure, their kids were able to go to school, but they were spending hours trying to get, tests all the time, getting tested. And the teachers were saying that, the school right now has just turned into more of like a daycare, and that we can't be teaching in these situations with the government not informing us of what the new measures us, and us finding out through the media and them changing all the time. So that was it. But that was kind of the reason why they went on strike, and of course Macron is going to be running for re-election very soon and stuff. So probably not the best time, but their ability to, to put strikes and all this. I mean, in the US, you read some similar stories like right now, but it's like, X amount of teachers in like this district in New Jersey. I don't want to undermine that, but this, like, the fact that it's like, the whole country at the country level, that the whole strikes like this, whether they achieve what they want or not, all that is a different story. But
do they specifically have demands of closure, or
no,
like
it's not closure. It's just like, more like consistent regulation, them being informed more in advance based on what I've heard, and like improving kind of the remote slash and in-school balance of teaching. They're kind of saying that this way that's going right now, it's not hard. And also they're saying that I think they're putting a lot of the burden on them to, for checking if they should come and they can't, and testing and all this. I believe they switched the testing from it being done in schools to like the parents. So that also created, so yeah, it's just the inconsistency of the measures, I think, and the way that they're learning about these measures. So yeah, this happened yesterday, so I don't know anything will come out of it or not, but the 75% figure was a very nice and strategic figure by the communication department of the trade union. So whether if it's 75 or what, but that figure caught my attention. That's for sure. If it was a bit higher, lower. And then we don't do too many COVID stories, but this is another one. And I mean, whether the authorities did this for their own reason or because they're saying, because they learned about the Omicron's variant being relatively shorter, the incubation time. But in Switzerland, so let me read it. They've cut down. So, and they made this decision like 2 days, and it was implemented already yesterday. So the quarantine and isolation periods for people who are symptomatic has gone down to 7, and from 10 to 5 days, and isolation also from 10 to 7. So let me just read it properly here. The decision involves cutting the quarantine and isolation periods to 5 days, from 7 and 10 days respectively. So whether you're quarantined or isolated, and only those people in close contact with an infected person would be subjected to the rules. So, I mean, maybe the government behaving in a way that will be beneficial to the population, although maybe they themselves were scared that, half the country was going to be in isolation and quarantine if you went forward this way. And this follows what the CDC also did in the UK. In the US, they cut it down from 10 days to 5.